nova equipe de Ayrton Senna é preta e dourada.
Mas todo o pessoal da Lotus e o próprio Ayrton...
O Ayrton Senna já está em Londres para os testes com a Lotus.
After a great 1984 season, which we summarized in the previous video in our channel playlist, Senna took a break for the holidays. But before his presentation to Lotus, the driver had a health problem, a facial paralysis that affected the entire left side of his face due to an infection. Despite the facial problem, Ayrton was determined to test his new Lotus car.
O piloto brasileiro viajou ontem à noite depois de 2 meses tratando de uma paralisia facial que chegou a ameaçar a carreira dele. Senna faz testes na Inglaterra até o final do mês e em fevereiro estará no Rio para experimentar pneus.
As with his debut in 1984, Senna drove 16 races in the season, starting again at the Brazilian Grand Prix at Jacarepaguá. This time he started in 4th place, but on lap 48, his car suffered an electrical failure and he was forced to retire from the race in 3rd place.
Mas a corrida da família de Ayrton Senna durou pouco tempo. Quando faltavam 12 voltas para acabar a corrida, Senna parou no boxe. Os mecânicos ainda tentaram consertar o carro, mas ele desistiu e saiu do carro.
2 weeks later, at the Portuguese Grand Prix, Senna took his first Formula One victory. He was fastest in qualifying and led the race from start to finish.
Olha o cronômetro. Bandeirada para ele. Ayrton Senna. Ayrton Senna vem do Grande Prêmio de Portugal. Em 1985, ele tirou o pé de uma vez do Nigel Mansell, jogou o carro fora. Ele já abriu o cinto, ergue os braços.
The best lap was also his.
A volta mais rápida foi de Ayrton Senna.
In this same race, Senna already demonstrated that he had great skill on wet tracks, stating that the conditions on the Estoril track were more hostile to drivers than in Monaco the previous year.
As condições estavam 10 vezes pior do que Mônaco no ano passado. Foi impossível controlar o carro, mesmo na reta a 250 por hora o carro vinha aquaplanando. Então eu achei um absurdo eles continuarem daquele jeito. Eu gostaria que eles tivessem parado a corrida, mesmo estando numa posição confortável como era a liderança.
Now, at the San Marino Grand Prix, Senna achieved his 2nd pole position.
Senna's away beautifully, so is De Angelis. Up comes Alboreto into 3rd position. Behind Alboreto already is Alain Prost in 4th position as they stream round the Tamburello. In 5th gear, it's Senna leading, De Angelis 2nd, Alboreto is in 3rd position.
He was in 1st place from the start of the race until lap 56. But with less than 4 laps left, something went wrong with the turbo on his Renault engine. This made the fuel calculation wrong, and the car ran out of fuel. This meant that the driver had to stop the race.
Senna's in trouble, could be fuel, so Senna slowed right down out of the blue, and one would hand there is Stefan Johansson right behind him. So, Stefan Johansson set the challenge, and if that's fuel, Senna has no chance of making it. He slowed right down. Stefan Johansson goes into the lead. What an amazing turn-up. And Stefan Johansson, his 2nd drive for Ferrari, is going to win his 1st Grand Prix.
Senna completed 90% of the race, which is why he finished in 7th place. At the Monaco Grand Prix, Senna secured his 3rd consecutive pole position, a new achievement in the Brazilian driver's career. This time, however, the pole position was accompanied by controversy. After setting the fastest lap, he rejoined the track and drove slowly. Niki Lauda and Michele Alboreto complained that they had been wronged.
I was in practice and I tried to qualify very quick, and suddenly in the middle of the road somebody was going slow, didn't look in the mirrors and destroyed my lap.
But during the race, Senna's engine began to smoke and the Brazilian was forced to retire.
And there's a change of lead because Michele Alboreto has passed Ayrton Senna right in front of our position here, with Lauda catching up fast.
Yes, and Ayrton Senna's in trouble because there was a lot of smoke coming from the back of his car, so Ayrton Senna looks to be in engine or turbo trouble.
At the Canadian Grand Prix, Lotus had its first 1-2 on the grid, with Elio De Angelis taking pole position and Ayrton Senna 2nd.
We are underway from Montreal. The pole sitter, Elio De Angelis, is first through, and it looks like a clean start. car. De Angelis is followed by his teammate, the young Brazilian, Ayrton Senna, and then the two Ferraris, Alboreto and the rookie Johansson.
But in the race, Ayrton Senna suffered another disappointment with his engine. He had to stop in the pits on the 6th lap due to a problem with the turbo and was out of action for 5 laps.
Well, this Canadian Grand Prix is already turning into a race of attrition. We've lost twice winner Nelson Piquet, and here behind me you see Ayrton Senna, my favourite, I must admit, to win, who's out at the moment with turbo problems.
The engine lasted until lap 66 of the 70 laps, and Senna finished 16th. Detroit Grand Prix. Senna secured another pole position, but on lap 51, Ayrton was looking for 3rd place by trying to overtake on Alboreto, but crashed into the tire wall due to overheating brakes.
Not the case at this moment. There's the battle that is being waged right now. Whoa! And head on into the wall. And Senna did it. He went around the outside. He got on that gravel. I'm surprised he did that. He tried to go too deep, got on that marbles on the outside there, and straight into the wall. That is the 3rd straight car to sock the wall in that place. Senna coming out of his car.
Now it's the French Grand Prix. Senna started in 2nd place, but during the race, he had to make a forced pit stop due to a problem with 3rd gear. The team managed to get him back into 3rd gear, and he returned to the race in 20th place.
Senna, the answer to my own question has just gone into the pit. You can't see it. We're right opposite the pit. Now you can. Ayrton Senna on lap 11, who was in 3rd position, comes up. There's Steve Hallam, his race engineer, and the yellow cap bending over the Lotus. They were not at all happy with boost pressure in the warm-up, and it looks as though the Renault engine is in trouble, as of course is Ayrton Senna, and there's a new 3rd place man. But again, significantly,
on lap 26, Senna's engine broke, spilling oil over the wheel, causing the driver to crash heavily into the wall. In the British Grand Prix, Senna started 4th. In the race, he made some great overtaking moves and took the lead at the start.
When the red light goes on, that is to say that they're under starter's orders, and 10 seconds after that, and the red light is on and they're off. Jackie Rosberg gets away. Nelson Piquet and Nicky Lauda made a 4th start. Rosberg's away, but Ayrton Senna's taking the lead. Can he get past? No. And Ayrton Senna takes the lead with Keke Rosberg 2nd.
He held the lead until his car broke down on lap 60.
While he got past Patrese there, he jumped inside an alley curve, and now he kept the lead. But look at this, Alain Prost is again passing him. I tell you this, Ayrton Senna is having gearbox selection trouble, and this is supplying us with a wonderful TV show. And Ayrton Senna's going very slowly past the pit. Very slowly, Ayrton Senna is going past the pit, almost coming to a stop in front of his own pit, and there you see it on our television screens. We were high above it here, we could see it. A disappointed man. Yet again, he's not going to finish a Grand Prix. He's going to pull off the racetrack. He has led this race comfortably.
He was the leader, but ended up ranking 10th for completing 90% of the race. German Grand Prix. Senna started in 5th. His start was spectacular when he climbed from 5th to 1st position.
red light is on. Alboreto was seen locking up there through the S's in the first part of that corner, but they all appear to be safely through at this moment.
But the race did not last more than 27 laps for Ayrton Senna. The suspension broke, and the Brazilian abandoned the race when he was in the lead. Austrian Grand Prix. Senna started in 14th place, and his Lotus was finally consistent throughout the race. There were several accidents at the start, and the stewards ordered a restart.
There it is. The race is on. And the McLarens drag race each other down the front straightaway, and you can see some cars bottoming out there. Niki Lauda has grabbed the lead from his teammate Alain Prost as they go into the first series of corners here. And one of the cars has failed to get away. That's the number 17 of Gerhard Berger. And the red flag is out because of the missed start for the second time in a row.
On the restart, Senna moved up to 10th place on the first lap. And on lap 26, Nelson Piquet's engine failed on the track and Ayrton moved up to 4th place.
There is a problem with Piquet. There's a problem with Piquet. It looked as if he just came in for tires, but now the mechanics are feverishly, no, Piquet's out, he's finished.
Nigel Mansell and Niki Lauda's cars also broke down, and Senna finished second.
At least temporarily. We are unable to see. Yes, he is. Lauda is out of the race. He is out of the race car and walking to his motorhome. So what a development this is. Niki Lauda drops out of competition while leading before the home crowd here in Austria. And now running in second place would have to be Ayrton Senna.
Ayrton's car finally held out until the end.
And here comes Ayrton Senna in the Lotus. And he is on his way to a second place finish.
That's a good finish for Senna, starting 14th to come through the field like he did, because especially for him, for his confidence, he's had such an unreliable run since he won the Grand Prix of Portugal. So to see him finish second here really is a good boost for him and for the team.
Senna took another podium finish at the Dutch Grand Prix. He started 4th on the grid and finished the race in 3rd behind the McLarens of Nick Lauda and Alain Prost.
Niki Lauda in the middle indicating his win, Alain Prost to his right indicating second place, and Ayrton Senna to Niki's left indicating his third place finish here at Zandvoort.
At the Italian Grand Prix, Ayrton Senna secured his 5th consecutive pole position. At the start, Senna went off the track, losing speed and falling to 3rd.
To get going here on the main straightaway. Meanwhile, the cars are proceeding through the first chicane.
In the following laps, he lost 2 more positions. But on lap 31, Ayrton regained the position from his teammate, Elio De Angelis. After that, Ayrton held on to 3rd place until the end of the race.
And Ayrton Senna finishes in 3rd position, but it was a close battle as he and Mark Schur came down nose to tail. The winner here at the Italian Grand Prix today was Alain Prost, finishing 2nd, Nelson Piquet. Ayrton Senna was 3rd, Mark Schur 4th.
At the Belgian Grand Prix, Senna had his 2nd victory in Formula One. In the race, Ayrton Senna got off to a good start and overtook Alain Prost.
Which is only about 100 yards away. It's a good start. Down to the right-hander, first gear this is, and as you can see already, it's Ayrton Senna in the lead. And off spins. I can't see who that is, and it's incredible the way it's one of the Brabhams. It must have been Piquet. Senna is leading, Prost is 2nd, Alboreto is already up to 3rd.
He led the race practically from start to finish on one of the most treacherous circuits in Formula One, but completed the 43 laps without being threatened.
Senna finishing, indeed, here he is, and although we didn't see him cross the line, Ayrton Senna has won the Belgian Grand Prix in his GPS Lotus Renault with its Goodyear tyres, the 2nd win in his career, and it certainly won't be the last.
2 weeks later, at the European Grand Prix, Senna took his 5th consecutive podium. This race was the first in F1 history with Brazilian Senna and Nelson Piquet on the front row. At the start, Senna had good traction and maintained the lead. However, as the race progressed, Senna found himself battling with Nigel Mansell. The British driver was closing on the Brazilian, and on lap 8, Mansell took the lead.
Senna and Nigel Mansell in 2nd place.
Well, look at this, a terrific scrap for the lead, and there's a change because the Williams has gone past Ayrton Senna, who has therefore lost the lead, and he has lost it to Nigel Mansell.
Unable to keep up with Mansell's Williams, Ayrton saved fuel for the end of the race and finished 2nd, securing his 4th consecutive podium in the same season. At the South African Grand Prix, Senna started in 4th place. During the race, his car did not last more than 10 minutes, breaking down on the 8th lap.
Uma corrida complicada porque Ayrton Senna vai parando no box também, dando a impressão que vai ficar fora da prova. Ayrton saiu do carro. Acaba a corrida para Ayrton, já acabou para Piquet, vai acabando para Alboreto.
At the Australian Grand Prix, Senna had another pole position, but during the race, his engine broke down again, causing the driver to stop on lap 62 and retire from the race while he was leading.
Senna leading, Rosberg second, Alboreto third, Lafitte fourth, Streff fifth. In sixth position, and there he goes, Senna, it slows, and Rosberg goes through, and Keke Rosberg again rightly leads the Australian Grand Prix, and I think Senna's race is over. He's slowing right down, he's blown it, the turbo has gone on Ayrton Senna's Renault engine.
The car, yes, he's out of the car, so that's...
Senna was coming to the end of his first season at Lotus. Out of the 16 races, he had 2 wins, 6 podiums, 7 pole positions, and 7 races in which his car broke down. The Brazilian driver scored 38 points in an honorable 4th place. In the next video, we will summarize all the races of Ayrton Senna's 1986 season, the year in which the driver achieved the most pole positions for Lotus. This video will be on our playlist, which will summarize all the seasons of the Brazilian driver. Like, subscribe, and activate the bell. See you next video.